the 5. Red lights on here in the Hungaroring in Budapest. And they're out as DZ Racer will lead us down into turn 1. Gets a good start. Looking to cover off Lil Majin already. It's a beautiful start for the V-Carb as we're almost 3 wide in behind as Majin on the inside. A late send from the Alpine of Sci-Fi, and Sci-Fi's gone round. A big spin for the Haas of Cthulhu as well. As we're just about surviving down at the back. James on the outside. Big contact with Ansu. As Ansu just about surviving as well, and that's the RJ off the track, and big contact in behind, wings flying everywhere, and several drivers with damage. I think it was Northey or Page with damage here, as Raheem battling with A54 up the hill. A54 now into P4 has some damage as Page leaves the session, as MQK and Duba both have damage, as DZ Racer now has pulled the DRS gap already to Lil Majin. Brilliant start for DZ Racer. Bits in future as Lil Majin are going to go down the inside already here on lap 3 of DZ Racer. A swap for the lead as Raheem battling with A54 in the backer, but Lil Majin on the hard tyres takes the lead of the race in the Mercedes as Raheem gets ahead of A54. Didn't have the best of qualifyings, but MQK now has an opportunity now to try and get ahead. Meanwhile, Raheem on the inside of Billy and Penguin. Yellow flag is Fizzy Boy off again, as Raheem now down the inside of Billy and Penguin. And even though we've got a bit of a DRS train going here, Raheem still able to find pace, and Raheem able to cut his way through. What a fantastic move from Raheem. Raheem is P3 in the championship. Yet to see a win for Raheem or Billion in this season. Has he got a good enough exit? Ash going defensive into turn 1 as MQK sends it around the outside. Breaks so late round the outside, and what a beautiful move as Ash cooks the rears. A little bit of contact with MQK trying to get the car rotated. Dobo now on the rear of Sci-Fi Mega Hype as they are going to swap down into turn 1, surely, with Dobo on the inside. And Dobo with another dose of DRS. Can he find the traction on the exit? Important for Ash's races. Cthulhu now getting through on Sci-Fi as they drag down to turn 1. And Cthulhu gonna look to outbrake the Alpine, and does just that. Cthulhu now through on the Alpine driver, who is still carrying some damage as Ansu gets through on Page and retakes the racing line. Ansu up into P14 as Ansu actually leaves the road there and has a really bad run, which invites Page back through again on the outside, despite Page being on the older tyres. Ansu really struggling on the new softs as Billion now on the rear of RJ, going to look to get through, but Raheem going to surely try and follow him through. Is Raheem going to go for a big dive bomb into turn 1? He is! Massive send from Raheem. Biblical send now. And Raheem going to get through on RJ. And as Raheem battling on the outside of Billy and Penguin, we don't get the best of camera angles as Raheem looking for the switchback. DRS engaged. Billion going to defend on the inside of turn 2. Raheem trying to find the grip, going to look for another switchback if he can. And Billion parking his car beautifully. The Haas battling beautifully. And can Raheem get ahead of Billion? Billion defending into turn 1. But where's Raheem going to go? Goes to the inside of turn 1. Breaks so late though. Billion with a lovely switchback. Raheem went far too deep. But Billion, can he continue defending on lap 19 as Raheem has got ahead of Billion. But Billion still battling. But can Raheem finally sail round the outside? Breaks late. Billion still there, still side by side. We go through turn 3 and 4. More contact as Billion and Raheem come together as they head up the hill. And Raheem into P3, and Raheem needed that move. Everyone inside the top 7. Thank you for the subscription, Ledge Man. Everyone inside the top 7. This will be their first win in WHF. As Raheem takes the lead. Oh, and Billion! No! Billion! Massive spin! Massive spin! What happened, Billion, there? 3-second time penalty for Billion, and he's lost himself a heap of time. And that was a humongous spin. As Lil Majin now battling with A54. Big contact between the Mercedes and Ayub here as they head through turn 3 up to the hill of turn 4. They're still side by side. No one wants to give an inch here. Up the hill. Big contact and the Mercedes goes airborne. And Majin trying to battle his way through with Ayub. And big contact there on the rear of Billion. And MQK could go all the way from P16 to the podium as MQK battling with Billion. Billion sends it back down the inside. MQK though with DRS and damage. And this is one of the absolute drives of the season. The Cyber Driver now into the podium places. NMX James's first race this season off the podium as he battles with Abe, and down the inside goes the Ferrari. Abe tries to break round the outside, trying to find the grip, but James going to get through with DRS, and Abe just doesn't have the grip that he needs. Said Racer trying to catch the McLaren. Is he close enough to make a move down into turn 1? He's going to go for the late sand on the inside. Can he find the grip, Raheem? Can he get the better exit? He has. DZ Racer just can't find the grip on exit. Northy down into turn 1. And Dobo going to try and brake later than Northy. Sends it late, turns it in. And Dobo getting through on Northy there. Trying to get the exit out of the final corner on Billion. Penguin has DRS now. And Billion seems to have no answer as DZ Racer around the outside of Raheem. And Raheem continuing to defend beautifully here. But can DZ Racer send it down into turn 2 and 3? Raheem goes a bit deep. DZ Racer, can he get the exit? Side by side we go through turn 3. Right the outside goes DZ Racer. An absolutely beautiful move. And into turn 4. DZ Racer makes that move and will re-inherit the lead here. And now Raheem is going to do all he can to stay with DZ Racer. And Majin needs to get ahead of MQK as soon as possible, as Raheem absolutely sent it in turn 1. Big contact on the exit. I'm not even quite sure how Raheem got ahead in the first place. He was so far back. With DRS. Doesn't have to go for the move on Raheem. Oh, MQK into the rear of Raheem. What's happened there? MQK went very deep into the rear of Raheem. And contact between MQK and Raheem. That's... oh my lord. I'm not even quite sure what happened there. As Ash battling with James all of a sudden. James's mediums seems to have completely died as Ash all over the rear of James. James goes really wide, opens the door to Ash. And Ash with a switchback as they battle up the hill. And who's that? MQK battling with Majin as they had contact. Has Majin run out of fuel? I think Majin may have run out of fuel, as DZ Racer, though, is the man of the hour and will round the final corner and wins in Hungary. His first win in WHF. Raheem, yet again, finishes in P2. MQK in the end gets a podium with Majin, I believe, running out of fuel. And Majin will finish P4 ahead of Ash. Ash gets ahead of James, but has James run out of fuel? James is running out of fuel. Will Ash get ahead of him? Billion gets ahead of him. Where does James fall to? James gets ahead of Billion, but lost a position to Ash for sure with him running out of fuel there. Out of the final corner as Abe comes up to the line, gets P8. RJ will cross the line in P9, but Cthulhu may jump ahead of him. But what drama was that on the final lap?